Good afternoon, everybody. It is the 3rd of March today. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. Welcome once again to my own private little slice of heaven. This is a small section of the Avon I have private access to. One of my neighbours owns the fishing rights down here, lets me fish it. And I've not fished it for a while, so keen to be back. As you can probably see behind me, the water is a beautiful colour. There's about 4 or 18 inches of visibility, sort of greenish grey colour. It's fining down lovely, the level's lovely, the current and pace is lovely. There's hardly a breath of wind, so as you can probably guess, I've come down here to get on the Waggler. I've never fished a Waggler down here in the winter, so it's going to be suck it and see. I think really Roach are on the cards. Do get the odd chub down here, but not too many, so I think really we're looking at Roach. The air temperature is about 8 or 9 degrees. There's a little bit of chill in the air, but it's nice as well. I'm all wrapped up and it's nice. I'm going to fish, I think, just till it gets dark. We'll suck it and see, really. What I've done, just in case it's going crazy and we want to fish into dark, or if I'm struggling on the Waggler, which I occasionally do down here, is I've bought a feeder rod with me as well, ledger rod, but we'll touch on that as and when we use it. But I'm really come down here ready to go on the Waggler. So I've got my Cadence 14-foot match number 2. I'm going to use a nice big Drake Waggler, as you've seen in previous videos. Nice big Drake bodied Waggler, which I'll run you through in a second when I set the gear up. Just looking over here because my stuff's just in a pile. So yeah, I'm going to get set up and then I'll run you through baits and the gear. But yeah, really looking forward to this. So guys, here we are, all set up. Well, almost. As I said, I'll run you through the gear. My Cadence CR10 14-foot match number 2. Here, nice sort of intermediate action. It'll handle bigger fish, but also reasonable for smaller fish too. I've coupled that today with my, as you can probably see, my Garcia 704 closed face reel. Absolutely love a closed face reel. Just the ability to just open the bail arm effectively with just one finger. It's just wonderful for running a bait through. And sort of this type of fishing, I've used closed face reel. I have used my, as you've seen, if you've seen any of the previous videos, have previously used my Cadence reel on here, but I much prefer a closed face reel, to be honest, so I've changed that over. Now I'm going to fish perhaps halfway across. We're probably looking at the length of my rod, I don't know, 20 metres, something like that. I would think that's probably getting on for halfway. It's a nice current all the way through. I'd like to fish a reasonable distance, so I'm going to go about halfway across. So floats, I'm going to use one from my selection here. I definitely want a bodied Waggler. We're probably looking at one of these. I'm not sure that'll be big enough. It's 5.5 BB and a 3 BB. These are loaded. Let's try that. I've got one of these quick change adapters on here. They're actually made from a bit of anti-tangle sleeve and a swivel, just so that I can change floats very quickly. Obviously want to fish as sensitively as possible with a Roach on the cards. So I'm just wondering if I'll be able to cast that one far enough. I've got some shot on the line. Let's just have a look. Need a decent weight of float as well to be able to mend the line against, because it is going through. And of course be able to see it. That's not too bad. I can get that the distance with no wind. And that's a reasonably sensitive float, so I think we'll stick with that. Normally like a lot shot down the line when I'm Waggler fishing in here, because the bleak are a problem. And if they are a problem today, we may have to rethink this float, but it'd be nice to start on this one. As I say, it's nice and sensitive. Although it's still going under. As I say, this is just leftover from last time I float fished. That's nice. There's just a tip sticking out. Let's just make sure we can get it the distance. That's nice. Let's just take one. There's some number 4s on here. I'm going to take one of those off as well. And I think we're good to go. Right, let's try that. Oh, that's nice. That's perfect. That's about 15 mil sticking out of the water now. So, let's check we can get out of there. That's just nice. It's nice and sensitive. With my aged eyes, I can see it as well, which is great. So, we're looking good. It might be worth trying about a third of the way across, actually, looking at that flow. I haven't put any groundbait in yet. I'm going to put some in a minute. Now I know it's around about 11-12 foot in here. So what I'm going to do, get some Angling Bait Company Pro Roach groundbait in, mixed with some liquidized bread. We'll start off just off bottom. I know from experience how deep it is in here, having fished it several times on the Waggler. Again, if you've seen any of my videos in the autumn, you'll remember. And baits I've got with me, I've got some worms, some dendrobinas, I've got some bread, but my mainstay is going to be maggots. I'm going to loose feed maggots. Got just a mix box of maggots, got a couple of pints. Should be plenty this time of year for a few hours. This hook, if it sticks in as many fish as it's stuck into me, my seat, my trousers, the foliage and everything, we're going to have a good session. Because it's sticking into everything at the moment. Right. Let's have a look. How deep are we? I think we just need to be a little bit deeper than that, a couple of foot deeper. I'm going to run it just along the bottom, like I say. We'll try this float out. If it's being a pain, we can easily change. And I've got the shot just, the cocking shot just near the bottom. There we go, we picked a stick up this time. Cocking shot just near the bottom of the hook link swivel. The size 18 on. And let's put one. Got a size 18 on. 4-pound main line and 2-pound hook link at the moment. So let's get some groundbait out and start loose feeding. We'll see how we can get on. Now I should mention there's no there's no feed content in the groundbait at all. Absolutely nothing. Apart from the groundbait itself. I haven't put anything in it at all. I'm gonna, as I say, loose feed maggots. What I've done is bought a very cheap and cheerful landing net and landing net handle, 3-meter handle, because I do struggle a bit when I'm fishing with a 14-foot or 13-foot rod with the nets that I have. I've just bought very cheap and cheerful new landing net handle. Right, start getting some maggots out. Not in a huge rush casting. Happy to get the bait going in first. Although this area usually holds roach, so if they're about and you fancy a feed, should be fine. Right, we're ready to go. Start from the red. See what happens. we may do really well, or this may be an absolute non-starter. So, the one run through, I've realised I'm undergunned on the float, so I'm going to go for something a bit bigger. Well, I'm getting some bites now, but I am missing them all. It's taken 5 or 10 minutes just to start getting some bites. Although, yeah, as I say, I haven't hit one yet. Well, we finally got a fish. We're playing around and playing around. Finally got a roach. Fantastic. Lovely job. Completely contrary to what was happening when I was trotting down the Olm and they wouldn't look at a white maggot. Been trying reds and bronzes in here. Put whites on. The bite first run down. So we'll stick with double white at the moment. And we'll hope the roach get a bit bigger. Now we're getting a few bites. And they are getting a little bit bigger. Careful, careful, careful. Come on. Lovely job. Just changing to white maggots is just immediately getting me bites straight away. That one. Oh no, I didn't. It's that small. I didn't realise I had it on. But this is great. Soaking me. Our resident pair of swans have turned up. Now these guys, going off topic slightly, but these guys, this pair, nested here for years and years and years. And up until 4 years ago, successfully reared cygnets every year. Usually around 5 or 6 cygnets. For the last 4 years, they've all been killed every year by the otters. It's not just fish that the otters take. Yeah, they are members of the weasel family, and they just kill stuff. Like I say, I was actually out. They almost reared one successfully to adulthood. It was just getting its white feathers. It was pretty much fully grown, and I was actually out fishing the night the otters took that one, and the sound was horrendous. Them trying to defend it, and this poor thing struggling. And I actually found it the next day down the stretch, ripped to pieces. And they haven't, as I say, they haven't raised a single cygnet for 4 years now. So it's not just no barbel we have in this stretch anymore, or don't have in this stretch. We don't have any cygnets ever either. Well, they hatch, and then they grow a little bit, and then they all get taken, one after the other. Anyway, enough of that. The otter lovers will still be otter lovers. And it don't matter what they do because they look cute. And people who actually know otters and know what they're like won't have their head buried in the sand. Because I have to say, I was an otter lover until I saw what they do to a stretch of river with my own eyes. And it's not good. Anyway, back to the fishing. Enjoy the fishing. He says, getting a bite and missing it. And for those people who don't think fishing is exercise, I could be casting quite a lot today. My arm, for sure, is going to get a workout. Whoa, come on. Got that one. I think my reel needs a bit of grease. Lovely job. Well, we started off small, but at least it's the right species. You know, don't have a problem catching some skimmers or some chub even. Perch. You may well get some perch moving. That's what often happens here. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos, you sort of catch roach for an hour or two and it all goes really quiet, and then you start to catch a few perch. I think they're attracted in by the roach shoals feeding. I'm going to keep these maggots going in. There does seem to be plenty of fish here. They do seem to be on the feed as well, judging by the amount of bites I'm getting. Some bubbles coming up out there as well. Wondering perhaps there's some bream on that ground bait, although I'm using a non-fish meal ground bait. I'm sure the bream will be in as well. I don't tend to catch them on the Waggler. I haven't done yet. I have the odd skimmer. As I said, we have got the option to go on a feeder. I may well do if I think perhaps it'll mean we'll get some bigger fish. We'll give it a go for a while on the Waggler though. It's just a nice method to use, isn't it? Just running through here at a nice pace. Not peas in a pod at the moment. I don't think we're going to have any pike attacks on the inside like we did in the summer, because bizarrely it doesn't happen very often down here. The water at my feet is actually travelling faster than the water out there, which is very strange. Very, very unusual for this stretch. Plus I'm getting bites all over the swim too. They are very small. They're getting smaller now. Well, just put 2 bronze maggots on and this feels a little bigger. Little. It's not huge, but it just feels a little bigger. Just a little bigger. Well, that may be a total coincidence. As you can see, bronze maggots. First time I've gone from whites to bronzes. And, as I say, maybe a coincidence, who knows. Well, slightly better on bronze maggots. That one's a bit smaller again, so perhaps it was a bit of a fluke. Let's stick with it. I'm certainly getting some bites now. Really switched onto these maggots. Well, this is fantastic for early March. Wonderful stuff. mean, to put the weather into context as well, it was very warm for a few days and then it's gone cold again. We're getting frosts at night. As I say, it's only 9 or 10 degrees at the moment, perhaps 8. Certainly see my breath anyway. And you've got a very cold nose. That's bizarre. I mended the line and the float didn't come back up. Well, we're getting a few better ones now. Fantastic. Once again, guys, if you've been seeing the previous videos of me using a keep net, I'm not using one today. I mean, I don't need to. You know, when you're in a tiny little river, you put the fish back and they go and spook the shoal, but I'm fishing 20 metres away, so there's clearly quite a lot of fish there as well, so I don't think returning them is going to have any adverse effect, and it's obviously much better for the fish as well, not going in a keep net. Bite a cast now. Bite a cast. Fantastic. Oh, come on, you pair. Get out of my way. Come on, get out the way. I'm not feeding you today. Bring the kids, we'll come and feed you tomorrow. Oh, that's the way to let them go, isn't it? These are all, again, I'm taking these all on bronze maggots. Let's try double red. Well, we've had a fish on double red. I guess they're on all the maggots now. Definitely getting more bites on whites and bronzes. So I'm doing the compromise and I'm going one white, one bronze. Would be nice if these fish did start to get a little bit bigger. But I'm not sure it's going to happen. But we'll keep at it. Like I say, we can always go on the feeder. Give it a couple of hours doing this. We can always go on the feeder. just for the last hour, and see if we can't pick up a bonus fish once we feed in the swim for a few hours. But we'll see, because this is a wonderful method. Yeah, some slightly better fish now. Pulling back a bit, that's for sure. That one certainly was probably the biggest one of the day, perhaps. Wonderful stuff. The thing about going roach fishing, isn't it? You go home covered in roach slime. As soon as I walk through the door, I'm told, you stink. That's good, that means I've caught some fish. Unless I've been dead baiting, of course. And it doesn't mean that at all. Having said dead baiting, I think should be out tomorrow with my friend Mick. We're going to have a dusk session after Xander. So we'll, I think that session will be just before dark, and then into dark we're going to fish. I haven't done much Xander fishing recently, predator fishing even. To be honest with you, I do enjoy it, but the problem I have with it is it's very, it's a waiting game, isn't it? I'm not a massive lure fisherman, which obviously can keep you occupied when you're dead baiting. I'm not a massive fan of lure fishing. So it's a bit of a, let's say it's a bit of a waiting game for me, and I do get, not bored, bored's the wrong word, but I get itchy feet. It'd be nice to sort of have a go, move, but really here, can't. Perhaps I'll sort it out for next season, but you know, I'd much rather be, to be honest, doing something like this, catching some fish. But this place is absolutely rocking now. I'm getting a biter cast and it's only going halfway down the swim. Float that is. Yeah, they're right on it, these roach. As I say, it'd just be nice to get some bigger ones. Jump that one. That could be a problem. Nice session as well so far. No tangles so far, touch wood. Don't know, I'm missing some of these unmissable bites. Get a waggler that size on with about ½ inch of tip showing. It goes completely under the water and you miss the bite. I can tell I'm catching a few fish now because my left hand is really cold from holding these fish. I'm catching them. Well, I still have no thumbnail on this thumb to unhook them, so I'm having to switch around. Oh, this is great fun. This is exactly what I was hoping it would be like, looking at the conditions. starting to strike at every single indication as well. I've been sitting on my hands a bit and letting the float go under, but that one didn't go under at all, and I probably should have put the net under that. That's certainly the biggest fish of the day. It's just a careful. It's just a little drop of the float, didn't go under. That's certainly the biggest fish of the day. That's wonderful. Yeah, it would be nice to be putting these in a keep net, but you know, have a look at them, how much you caught at the end of the day, but no. Get them straight back. Get them straight back if I can. Always do, to be honest. I did used to use keep nets back in the olden days when you were a lad, but don't bother these days. Loose feeding these maggots, I'm not getting a very tight grouping at all, really. But it doesn't seem to be making a difference. Still getting a bite of cast. Yeah, dog fight. Nuts. Oh, that feels a bit better. We're getting a few better ones now. Nuts. Ah, skimmer. Or is it? I think. That looks very much to me. Ouch. That looks a bit like a silver bream to me. What do we think? It's got the big eye. Like a very, very strange looking skimmer. I would say that's a silver bream. That's fantastic. I think not the easiest fish to identify, but they always look like a bit of a strange skimmer to me, and that looks like a bit of a strange skimmer. Very, very uncommon fish. Wonderful. Just a very, very light breeze picked up at the moment. It's just meaning I'm going about 2 meters short on the cast. Could probably punch it out a bit harder. But just bringing my cast a bit short. But it doesn't seem to be affecting the fishing. They're very lively as well, these fish. There we go. Just would be nice to catch a few bigger ones. A few more silver bream, that'd be great. Oh. What's in that? A £1 silver bream. Oh, someone's grabbed that on the way down. I imagine this is a bleak. Well, saying that, it's very bleaky. Yeah, perhaps It's a rudd. Ah, a chub. I wonder where these fellas were. Clearly, clearly they're right up in the water. Careful. So yeah, clearly these fellas are up in the water, smashing the maggots very high up. Wonder if it'd be worth perhaps fishing shallow. Perhaps we'll give that a go in a minute. I'll put my coat on. Don't really like float fishing in. My coat is a bit restrictive, but hopefully it'll stop raining in a minute. I think that is a hybrid. Looks of it. Oh, it's scrapping very well. Looks like a cross. A hybrid, a cross between a roach and a bream. Its head's very roachy. Fins are not very red, and it's definitely got an anal fin of a bream. There you go, hybrid. And they do scrap hard. So guys, it's still raining. It is supposed to stop fairly soon, according to AccuWeather. So we'll see. I've just nipped to put my waterproofs on. It's a bit too cold to be getting wet. Missing bites. Goodness knows how. I am on double maggot. It may be worth going on single maggot and probably be able to hit them a bit better. Certainly connect a bit better. I'm connected with that one. Absolutely crazy. There we go. Lovely roach. Great stuff. Yeah, I've been on double maggot the whole time. I think perhaps we will go on single maggot. See if it makes a difference. This is pulling back as well. Not huge, but you're pulling. What it is? Roach, I think. Yeah, nice one. Wow, we're getting a few nice ones now. Tangled up. There we go. There's about that on the Waggler. Wonderful stuff. Fantastic. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, I'm getting more hookups on single maggot, certainly. It doesn't seem to have affected the amount of bites I'm getting. Whizzing around like crazy. This fish certainly going a bit crazy. Very lively. Put the net under that one. I was just about to lift him out. No. Well, some wonderful fishing today. Wow. Absolutely awesome. Single maggot is certainly get me as many bites as double maggot, and like I say, I am connecting with them more, so that's a bonus. So lively. Well, I have caught stacks of fish today, and clearly I'm not going to show you them all on here, but it's been, I would say, from 10 or 15 minutes in, it's pretty much been quite a cast. As I was saying as well at the beginning, guys, about not using the keep net and it not affecting the bites in here. Well, as you can see, I'm getting a bite every single cast and I'm putting all these fish straight back. It's not affecting it. The river's big enough and there's enough fish there for it not to be affecting it. I'm literally getting a bite every cast. And it's me returning the fish is not affecting it. And it's much better for the fish to go straight back than go into a keep net. Certainly the amount I'm catching, I mean, I'm not blowing my own trumpet at all, but you know, I've caught stacks today and they'll all be crammed together in a keep net. There's no need. I'm not anti keep net at all, but there's no need to do it. So I'm not doing it. Well, we're still catching the little ones, but we're catching a few bigger ones as well now. Just got a bit of a breeze coming from the way I'm trying to cast this. Just, I'm fishing with the lightest float I can possibly cast with. It's just taking a couple of meters off my cast. That's better. I'm casting pretty much to the range of this float when there's no breeze. Almost to the range of it. So as soon as I get just that little bit of breeze, it's only a tiny bit, but it's enough to stall the float in the air and it's just dropping instead of going in. I think it's going to start to get dark pretty soon, so I don't think I'm going to change. And it's nice to have a sensitive float on. Perhaps I'll just ease the feed a little bit closer. And this is pulling back as well. I think it's one of those hybrids again, possibly. Or just a roach. A very energetic roach. Yeah. Very, very energetic roach. Lovely job. I think we'll persevere with this float. I don't fancy messing about putting a heavier one on now. It's got to be about 4:30, I should think, something like that. So we've probably only got half an hour of me being able to see this float, maybe an hour at push. I don't want to spend 10 minutes messing about reshotting a different float. The breeze has dropped a little bit now as well, and I'm able to get back out there again. It is nice and sensitive, this float, I have to say. A lot of these bites it's not actually going under. I mean, you're not going to be able to see, I'm sure. From there, I can barely see it, but I don't think it'll show up on the camera. But it's not actually going under on a lot of these bites that I'm hitting. Like there, it's just stopped. We may be barking up the wrong tree a little bit here anyway, because I was reading about roach fishing the other day, and can't remember what article it was. Whoever's written the article was basically saying if you catch small roach you won't catch big ones in the same place. So maybe completely wasting my time here looking for a big roach. I don't know how true that is. But I've had some up to, I don't know, probably around the pound mark from here. Everything from practically embryos to to stuff almost a pound. So I'm sure there's some big ones around here. Perhaps not in the same shoals with the small fish. Well, I would assume not. Oh, that one went out. Well, I think someone's hit that on the way down. I think Mr. Bleak's got hold of that. He has. That's superb. Absolutely loving this. It's one of those rare fishing sessions which you plan and you think about how it could go and it goes exactly like that. That's what's happened today. You look at the conditions, you look at the river, you make a plan and it happens. It doesn't happen often in fishing. It's starting to get a little bit tricky to see this float now. With all those trees on the other side, it's sort of going the reflection in a reflection from light to dark to light to dark. And it's tricky enough in the day, let alone when the light is starting to drop a bit. flying around over there? Some kind of hawk. It's not a kestrel, it's too big. It's too big to be a sparrowhawk. It's not a buzzard. I really don't know what it is. Very curious. Seen it a couple of times now. It's flying as well. It's very stiff winged and short little movements of the wings. Very stiff, as I say. The wings didn't bend in the middle as it flew earlier across. I'm not too bad on bird identification, but that one, I don't know, it's got me scratching my head. I'll have to do a bit of research when I get home. Because apart from sparrowhawks and buzzards and kestrels, I'm not sure what else we have around here. That's a pigeon. I know that much. And my float's gone whilst I'm looking at a pigeon. There it goes. Ah. I'm getting mugged a lot since it started to get dark. What's going on? I have my maggot away. I've had the majority of the bites in that spot all day. That one spot. Well, I went on double maggot, thinking I might get a bigger fish. I've got a slightly bigger fish, just about liftable. Ah, a hybrid by the looks of it. Yeah, another hybrid. Looks quite roachy. Definitely got a roachy head, but that anal fin is the giveaway. Plus, of course, the fact that it's scrapped. Proper scrap. For those of you as well, I keep saying hybrid. For those of you who don't know, I'm talking roach bream hybrid. It's a cross between obviously a roach and a bronze bream, common bream. They hybridise fairly readily. My understanding is because they tend to breed at the same time in the same places, so they all get a little bit involved with each other, shall we say. And they all have a bit of a join in together, and they hybridise. But they are great fish to catch because they do, as I say, they do scrap. Obviously having lots of roach and bream in this river. Clearly spawn in the same place. I think I'm going to give it too much longer now. It's starting to get properly dark. Well, it's not starting to get dark, but we're starting to lose the light. Certainly struggling to see those float, or starting to anyway. So that go into then. Oh, and he's gone. Another self-release. See if we can pick up a bonus fish perhaps on double red. What's the fish topping? You can tell it's getting towards dusk. Avon's often like this. Dusk, all the fish start to top. Missed that one. Oh, that felt a little better, and I've just bumped it off. That is very annoying. It wasn't huge, but that's properly annoying. Ooh. All the elastics come off. Broken, but it is mendable. God, boy. Just trying to mend the catapult as the float was running down, but got a bite. There we go. Lovely job. Right, let's put that on there a sec. Let's just sort this catapult out. The elastic has broken, but it's mendable, I think. Looks like it to me. And it probably needs to be a bit warmer than this, really. Surprised it's broken. They might have used it this year, to be honest. There we go. It's one of these guru ones, but as I say, it's done some work, but you can just put the elastic back onto the thing, albeit about 10mm shorter to one side, but it's working all right. But yeah, the light is properly starting to go now, so we'll give it 5 minutes. So we can't pick up another bonus fish. And I can just about see the float. And I can just about see it. It's a lot darker than it looks on that camera, I have to say. Oh, hello. Lift bite. Strange. Well, I think I'm going to have one more run through, and then I'm going to call it a day after having a mouthful of river water. Bites are sort of dried up now, to be honest. I'm getting a bite every sort of 3 runs through, as opposed to every single run through. So I think I'll just have one more cast, which may turn into 2 or 3. But we'll see how we get on. But yeah, it's just about time to go. It's starting to get dark. Starting to struggle to see this float. Not too bad when it's in shadow, but when it hits the lighter spots of the reflections, it's difficult to see. Also, my stomach is telling me it's time for some food. Yeah, see, that's going through now without getting touched, which it wasn't doing earlier. I think we'll call it one more fish, shall we? Rather than one more cast, one more fish. I think that's maybe it. Well, can't really finish on that, can we? It's far too small. One more fish. Well, the tiddlers are back. Right, really, I mean this. One more cast. No, one more fish. Definitely one more fish, and that's it. Even if it is tiny. Well guys, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. I'm really struggling to see that float now. It's definitely time to go home. That's been a very, very enjoyable session, I have to say. So I think, as I mentioned, the plan is now to get out tomorrow evening to do some zander fishing, predator fishing, catch a nice pike. Don't have a problem with that at all. So yeah, tomorrow back out again, making the most before the river season ends, making the most of these few weeks now before the river season ends. So all is left to do is to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that half as much as I did. Tow lines, enjoy your own angling. Thank you very much to the channel patrons, and I'll see you again tomorrow evening.